Hey there, Maya Matsek here. Happy end of the day to you. I'm having a little drink. Maybe you'll join me. Or maybe a drink is not your style and you can just find another way to kind of relax. I was actually just meditating and I got caught in the rain. I'm up here in the country. Hi, Michelle. And as often happens when I'm meditating, sometimes I go to this beautiful transcendent state when I'm meditating. I practice transcendental meditation, TM. Hey, Brandon. So sometimes I go to this really great transcendental place when I meditate, but sometimes I just get this thought that keeps occurring to me and I'm like chewing on it and thinking about it. And so I wanted to come talk to you about this idea that just kept plaguing me today. And in meditation, I got some more specific things. In fact, a couple of you who are already on, you might be interested, you might recognize yourself. Some of the things that we've talked about have gotten me thinking. So there I was meditating, and again, I practice something called transcendental meditation. And I tried to meditate for years, and in fact, I actually had some pretty good success when I was sitting in a Buddhist monastery for weekends. Like, I kid you not. I would go to Buddhist monasteries in my 20s, in my early 20s. And hey, Casey, hey, Aaron. So if I was really going to study meditation and sit in a Buddhist monastery for weekends at a time, which I did in my 20s, I could get to this beautiful meditative place. But I'm 46 now, and I will tell you, the amount of my adult life that I've spent successfully meditating is like, I don't know, 0.00%. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to do the percent. Because I didn't have a technique. 9 months ago, I got trained in transcendental meditation, and I now meditate twice a day for 20 minutes, and I never miss, okay? That's not me. I'm not suddenly a special successful meditator. They taught me a technique that works and that I can use. So if you're anything like me and you've tried to sit down to meditate and it just totally doesn't work, it might not be that you are a terrible meditator. You might not have found the right tool for you to be able to successfully meditate. And the people I work with are so hard on themselves, and I know all about it because I have also been very hard on myself. Thinking secretly, even if you look really successful on the outside and people think that you've got it all together, and in many ways you do, and you certainly don't have like a major struggle in your life, let's say with poverty or with an eating disorder, or something that's really big that takes over your whole life. So you're basically successful, but inside you feel somehow like you are a failure because you are not, let's say, doing your soul mission full out, or you're not 100% happy and it looks like everybody around you really is happy, or like you don't have a great marriage, the kind of marriage you really want to have, or you are too scared to really go for it with your life's work. I don't know what it is for you. Think about what that might be for you and see if there's a place where you just feel like a failure. Here's what I have to say to you. You likely just do not have the tools. You don't have the tools. And I know this, I just shared that story about meditation, that I'd never been able to successfully meditate. And I'm a certified yoga teacher. I got trained as a yoga teacher. I mean, I've spent my life steeping in these kinds of pursuits, and I could not, for the life of me, make myself sit down and meditate until 9 months ago when I got trained in TM. So I don't know, what's that area of your life? I had a client who was really struggling because she was sharing custody with her ex, but not just her ex, his new girlfriend. And she was so troubled by this experience. And we worked out some very specific communication techniques for her to practice. I talked to her 2 weeks later, and she sounded like an entirely different person. She sounded very light, and she said, "It's so incredible. I'm really actually not just connecting with this woman, but almost bonding with her. And like, I just changed a few of the techniques in how I respond to her and how I share with her about what I feel my son needs, and how she wanted to communicate with the school in a certain way. And she felt like she was constantly getting overridden by her son's father's girlfriend, right? They weren't even married. So she was triggered all over the place. And she was just like, this is a burden. I'm going to have to deal with it forever. When she had the tools of a couple of very specific communication techniques and the courage to go try them out, within 2 weeks, she actually had a working relationship with this woman. She said that she sat down with this woman and her young son, I think he was like 7, and did a crafts project together. And she said not only was it really obvious to her that she had been successful because she now had the right tools, but her son was happy. But she'd been feeling like a total failure all along. And the thing that really frustrates me, okay, this is what really frustrates me, and I want you to check in with yourself and see if this is operating in your life somewhere, is that the world will tell you that people cannot change, that I feel like the example I always use is if you're depressed and it's in your genetics, you're always going to be depressed. You might have to manage it somehow. Maybe you'll be successful in managing it, but really you're always going to fail at healing your depression. Or, I thought that about my eating disorder, like, well, I'll just have to learn some tips on how to manage it. No, I healed my eating disorder, but in this world, we are told people don't change. That's just the way that it is. And if there is a place in your life where you're feeling like a failure, whether it's weight loss or happiness or fulfillment or making your life's work your real full-time job and not just treating it like a hobby, whatever it is for you, making a move that you want to make, if you're feeling the desire and you're not following through and you feel like a failure, I can almost guarantee you that it's because you don't have the right tools and a part of you is believing that it's not possible. So is there somewhere in your life where you feel like you want to shift something, do something bigger, show up in a new and different way, but you feel stuck? Because there is nothing worse. It is so frustrating to feel like you have all of this potential just bubbling up inside of you. And I'm telling you guys, it could be like in your sex life, right? It could be as an artist. I don't really care what it is, but there's a place, if right now you're feeling the yearning somewhere in yourself for more soul expression or more freedom or some kind of healing, that's what's up. That's what's next for you. And if there is some part of you, and there is for most of us, a subconscious belief that we're just this way, nothing will ever change, we kind of suck, maybe we're not even worthy of success, and so it's just easier to stay saying that we're a failure, it's because you believe somehow that it's dangerous not to be a failure, and there's some kind of a belief or a rule that's saying, oh, well, you can't accomplish that. But I am telling you, I have seen people heal decades of depression, 45 years of a massive eating disorder, marriages, just insomnia, go from feeling really permanently dissatisfied and like they were a fuck up because they were like, what am I, just a constantly dissatisfied person, to taking the right risks in their life. Because that's the thing. There are actually tools to connect you to your intuition. Your intuition will not guide you wrong, but we don't trust it because we live in a culture that says you have to follow some kind of external template to be successful in life. Get married, have children, live in this certain way, or go to college and get this kind of a job, or do what your family has done or what women in your family do. And we override our intuition, but intuition is not vague. It's not airy-fairy, it's not woo-woo. That's another rule that we're taught in our culture. So if you're feeling like, I just don't know how to listen to my intuition, right? But or I don't know how to trust myself. Do you feel like you can trust yourself 100% to make the decisions that are going to give you the most fulfillment in life? Or are you still feeling a little like, I don't know? Because intuition is an actual tool that you can learn how to use, as is, let's say, boundary setting. I don't know about you, but I have had to really struggle to set boundaries in my life so that I could actually focus on my life's work and what's important to me and what's like really my soul mission. There are techniques for learning how to communicate with people and set boundaries. Did you know that? So if you feel like, I just suck at setting boundaries, I always second guess myself, I always do for other people but don't put myself first, and you're feeling disappointed in yourself and like a failure, you probably just are lacking the tools to set boundaries, figure out what is the voice of your intuition, figure out what are the right risks you should be taking. Hey, Gerard. And Asha's here. Yes, I was just dealing with this in my job last week. No, but that's the thing. Hey, Karen, This stuff is really concrete, right? So you're like, ugh, I'm just a total loser. That was always me. I had a boyfriend. We were together 6 years. I call him my Brooklyn boyfriend. And he always did this Homer Simpson imitation. Whenever I'd be really down on myself, like, ugh, I just suck. And he'd do, what is it, like, we're total lamos or something? Now, I didn't watch The Simpsons a lot, but it always broke me out of that real feeling of being stuck in that I'm a loser. And so there are mindset shifts that you can make. Like, I teach that stuff, okay? So let's say, working with a life coach, it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna spend time navel gazing. No, there are strategies, specific strategies and tools and techniques to get you the results that you want, like getting connected to your intuition, learning how to communicate with people so that you can be your true self and speak your truth, but not alienate everybody and not be just a total jerk, right? What else? Let's see. So at work, Asha's saying at work, in your romantic relationships, with your family, you might need to set boundaries and communicate differently. What about communicating with yourself? What about trusting yourself, right? Or knowing what move to make in your art or your business. Hey, Rick. So I got a little rain done. I'm going to fix myself up here. I put a hat on because I was meditating outside. Whew, and now I'm kind of hot and glistening here inside, but it's summer and I cannot complain. You know, one of the major leaps I made in my life 6 years ago this week was I moved out of New York City into upstate New York. And I had just started trusting my intuition. And I was scared because I was like, ooh, I have all my work in New York City. And what about my acting career? Hey, Kristen. And but I had a coach at the time who had given me these tools. She had actually given me a mantra. I trust my desires to lead me to my best life. And it was, I'd been playing with listening to my intuition and stepping out and being more visible and like just taking some risks, right? Some soul aligned risks. And I took the big leap to move to upstate New York. It's been crazy how everything's unfolded. So again, if you're feeling in any place in your life, like I felt so stuck in New York City. For years and years, I felt stuck. I had this major eating disorder. Like I kept changing things outside of myself, but I didn't understand that there were tools to actually transform from the inside out how I see life, the lens that I see life through, the lens that I see myself through, and that there are actually tools to get to know myself better, to step out and be visible and take risks in my creative expression. So where is it that you want to be stepping out more, being more visible, where you feel stuck? Because it is so frustrating to get stuck, and then that voice in your head like, ugh, I suck, I'm a loser, I'm a total failure. And you would be surprised. I mean, the women I work with are successful, some entrepreneurs, social justice activists, you know, people who are doing really well in life. And yet, and if this is you, check in with yourself about it. Where's that place where you have this secret failure feeling? And I want to say this again. I was ranting about this a second ago, but like society will tell you there's nothing you can do about it. But there are tools and techniques to get in touch with your intuition, set boundaries, have great sex, step out in whatever way that you want to. So, is there anything else I wanted to say about that? No, I wrote a Facebook post earlier this morning that was sort of along these lines, and it was like, what did I talk about in it? Let's see. Hey, Elise. I'm just taking a moment here to capture my thoughts and see if there's anything else I wanted to say. But basically, you know, I work in a very intuitive way with my clients, but it's extremely concrete. And so something, you might have a rule around like, intuition, it's mamby-pamby. I don't know, maybe you do. But I keep having these experiences. I had it again today. I was on the phone with a new client today, and we were trying to set up her morning ritual. And she's like, I just feel like I need more spiritual practice or a morning ritual. And she wound up designing a late morning ritual. She's like, ugh, I should probably get up earlier, but I just don't want to. I love my sleep. So, right, there's a social rule right there that you should get up early and make time for this kind of a thing. But she designed her late morning ritual, and she's like, I just feel like I need a book or something to read. And I said, have you ever heard of the book Jesus Calling? And she was like, no. And then we wound up having this very interesting conversation about how in the woo-woo world, it's almost like you can't be interested in things biblical. And she felt like she'd left a part of herself behind, that where Jesus was actually calling her. Now, have I ever recommended that book to a client? I've been a private coach for 6 years. I don't think I've ever recommended that book to a client. That's intuition with concrete results. So where are you feeling like a failure? Where are you believing you can't change? Where are you feeling like, oh, that's maybe a little bit far out or woo-woo, when really it's concrete and there are tools that will help you get the results that you're after. Any other comments? I know Asha said yes. Oh, this is the other thing I wanted to say, and I mentioned it in a written Facebook post earlier. Ooh, wait, I just lost it again. Oh, hold on. Hold on. If you're feeling like a failure, but it's really not you, it's just that you're lacking the tools. Oh, yes. In terms of your mindset or your inherited, like your DNA, the way your DNA operates, our culture will say, and I read this in O Magazine a month or two ago, that happiness is made up of 10% your life situation. Okay, all that is changeable, right? I do that as a life coach. I help people change, like maybe they change jobs or change communication styles. Totally concrete oriented tools. But then what about your mindset? That's 40% of your happiness. So what about your mindset and your emotions? That stuff is also healable. But our culture will say it's not, and our culture will definitely say that your inherited genetic makeup and the way that your genes are activated and operating is not healable. That is 50% of your happiness. Did you know that? That 50% of your happiness is predicated on your DNA, your genetics? Well, that's depressing if you also called just now. Oh, okay, I think I'm still live. Hey, Stephanie. So if you are feeling like a failure, you're feeling stuck and frustrated in some area of your life, I want you to look at, is it really me? Is it like a change that I can make in my lifestyle? Like, do I need to move or, set better boundaries? There are tools for that. Is my negative self-talk really bad? Like, is my negative self-talk really bad? If so, you know what? There are tools to help you change your negative self-talk. Is it my genetics? Does depression or anxiety or whatever it is, not following through on things, does that run in my family? Guess what? Genetics also can be shifted. So wherever you feel stuck or like a failure, I'm going to guarantee you right now that you just do not have the right tools. I'm going to guarantee it. You want to test me? You want to test me on that? Are you like, absolutely not? I have people who like to test me. They're like, I am too much. You are not going to be able to handle me. I'm like, all right, bring it on. Do you want to test me? Are you going like, that is total bullshit? If you are feeling like you would like to have a conversation that gives you a breakthrough, that either like proves me completely wrong or maybe proves you wrong, but with the best possible results because now you're unstuck. I just opened up a couple of spots. What's today? Wednesday? Yeah. So I still have a couple of spots for totally free breakthrough conversations with me. So let's do some strategic soul searching. See, that's what I call it. I do strategic soul searching. It's not woo-woo, or it is woo-woo, but it gets you concrete results. I will share with you. Let's say you want to get unstuck. Bring me your frustration. Bring me your stuck place. And let's see if I can get you a breakthrough, because this always happens, some kind of an insight or a breakthrough. It could be something subtle like a shift in your belief around money. And then your whole life changes because the tools you have are now at your disposal are totally different. You never had them before. So I've never done this before. Hey, Ari, I have never done this before. If you are like, Maya is speaking total bullshit here. There's no way. People can't change. You cannot change your DNA. There cannot be tools that totally like upgrade your happiness 50 to 100%. I invite you to take me on, challenge me. Let's have a conversation, a breakthrough conversation where we look at why you're stuck where you're stuck. Is it a life change thing? Is it a mindset or an emotional baggage thing? Is it something perhaps inherited and genetic? And what is it that you need to do to make a permanent transformation happen in your life so that you can go from feeling like a total failure in this area to having the tools that will help you Not just get through and muddle through and survive, but the tools that will help you thrive, be your true self in the world, have actual happiness. What about fulfillment? What about not holding yourself back anymore? God, it is so frustrating, isn't it, to feel like there's more that you want to say or do, but you feel stuck because you feel like a loser? So if you feel like you want to take me on and you want to get a breakthrough, let's have a free, totally just a free conversation and talk about it. I'll post a link in the comments below. Jacqueline, she loves my hat. Thank you so much. I was meditating outside and I got rained on and I thought, let me throw on this hat. And, I live in upstate New York and I notice I don't get dressed up as much as I used to. I probably have a rule about that. I actually went out for lunch. My mom celebrated my birthday with me late yesterday, and I ran into someone who only knows me very locally, and she was like, wow, you look so nice. Like, she was surprised. I probably have a rule that, like, upstate New York, what's the point? I work from home. But I love how I feel when I get dressed up, so maybe that's one of the places where you feel like a failure. You know what? Let me be totally honest. What's coming to my mind right now, when I was young, I felt like I wasn't pretty enough to get to wear makeup. Like I just had no place. I felt like a failure as a girl. And so I had no right to wear makeup or pretty things. And that is a huge, huge transformation that I implemented in my life. That I can go on a Facebook Live with makeup, without makeup, with my hair down, with bangs, with no bangs, a hat. Hey, Rita, Janet is here. Huh. Oh, it's been so great to see everybody. Let me recap for those of you who are just joining, okay? So let me have a little sip here. So I started off by talking about meditation because I just meditated today. And I have not successfully meditated for most of my life, but 9 months ago, I got trained in the technique of transcendental meditation. And I have not missed a single meditating time in over 9 months now. That's 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. I just lacked the tool. I was a total failure. I had ADD, ADHD, honestly. I was so jittery. I had hypoglycemia. I was like, well, I can't meditate without eating. Can now, because they say you should meditate before breakfast. And so that was just a tool, a technique that I needed to get. What about boundaries? We're just like, hey, Claudia, look at where in your life you might be stuck or frustrated or angry or something is not going right. I have issued the challenge tonight on this Facebook Live that you can. Okay, what am I saying? If what I'm saying is registering to you as total bullshit, like there's no way you can change your genetic history. There's no way you can change all your mindset and clear out your emotional baggage so that you get over a lifelong history of depression that runs in your family or 45 years of an eating disorder. Those two examples, actual clients of mine. Client of mine, I think she was 48 when she's like, wow, I'm not depressed anymore. I'm off my meds. Go figure. Because she healed all this emotional baggage. Another client who was 54, binge eating bulimic for 45 years. Just stopped. Through specific tools and techniques that she learned in our time working together. But if you do not believe me, that's fine. Come hop on a free breakthrough conversation call with me. I'll post the link below. And just like, fuck it, right? Don't we love living from fuck it? I know that my people love that idea. Hey, Karen, did you call me? Yeah, you said some nice things about me and fuck it earlier today, and I loved it. Like, fuck it. Why not? What do you have to lose? If you are feeling at all of an interest in figuring out the places where you're stuck and frustrated and like maybe you just don't have the right tools, let's talk. Why not? What do you have to lose? Moni Castaneda. Oh, so good to see you here. Jacqueline says, oh, she's responding to something I said that I felt like as a girl, when I was a little girl, that I couldn't even bother wearing makeup or pretty clothes because I wasn't attractive enough. And it would just be like, what's the point anyway? That I was a failure as a girl. So Jacqueline says that she only felt pretty when she wore makeup. My face is naked now and I feel great. That's what's so cool about this work. It's like the number of times when I've been in a session with a client and she's saying something like, oh, I should always wear makeup. And I'm like, I think your challenge is not to wear any makeup. And I'm not saying, but you've already done that, Jacqueline. The tool is often totally counterintuitive to what the world is going to tell you. Totally counterintuitive. Totally counterintuitive. So All right, gang, I've been talking. It's great to see you all here. I think it stopped raining. I'm going to go back outside and head home. I'm actually at my family house. This is some of my dad's artwork behind me. I'm not currently living here though, but I came in to meditate, and I'm going to post the link to my calendar below, all right? So if you want to see about getting yourself a breakthrough in a place where you feel stuck, but maybe, just maybe you just need a tool, I want to say forget the world's rules. And anywhere that the world is telling you that there's a rule that you can't feel better and actually have success and fulfillment and happiness in your life, let's talk. Totally free breakthrough conversation, all right? Oh, my mom just joined. So everybody say hi to my mom. Hi, Mom. That's Judy Garrison. She's my mom. We're just signing off now. Mom, don't take that personally. I love you. I love all of you. All right, bye.